And now, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Big D and Bubba, they have a show 5 days a week, but they don't get to say everything that's on their mind, so they have an extra one, and that's how we get the podcast, the podcast, the podcast. Big D and Bubba's podcast, the podcast, the podcast. Big D and Bubba's podcast.
I just wanted to hum along. It was just different. Well, hey, look, if you love music, you need to download the Pickle Jar app. It is awesome. Show some gratitude to your favorite artists. Support some great causes around town. You can do charity fundraising through it. It's a great app, and it does all the work for you. You can watch exclusive videos. They've got pictures. They've got all kinds of stuff you can't find anywhere else. Contests, all kinds of things. Download it today. If you love music, it really is your connection to all things music. Picklejar.com. It's good for your Droid. It's good for your Apple. It's all good.
Did I tell you
No
about
gold? Wait, no gold?
Oh, yeah, I got a gold for you. That is the voice of the 3,000-year-old mummy, which I picked as the gold this week because I just found out you can't call them mummies anymore.
You're not supposed to call them mummies. You're supposed to say mummified persons.
Carson.
Because the world is terrible. Wow, your hair looks good. What did you do?
Oh, wow.
Oh, I just shook it. I just went like this, and I
okay.
said, "Yeah, it hasn't been washed since Sunday."
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what it does look better.
These faces.
That's awesome.
My hair is mummified.
I just remember the build up to that friggin' mummy thing. You're like,
Oh
we
my
have
God, it's
we
so
scanned
great.
his vocal cords, and we now know the voice of the 3,000-year-old mummy. It's going to blow your mind. Are you ready? First time in over 3,000 years anyone's heard this man speak. It was the best.
Poor dude.
Such a letdown.
What a troll. Dude, just a bunch of nerds
They
trolling us.
trolled all of us. It's pretty great.
It was pretty good.
I think that stuff like, I'm starting to think stuff like, don't say mummy, say mummified person, and all the stuff. And then don't say, I've noticed people stop saying master bedroom. On the stupid
really?
shows that Vivica watches,
House
Flip
Hunters
It,
and
no,
stuff. Flip this house.
Like HGTV
Love
stuff.
It or Listed is her favorite.
Oh,
okay?
I hate them.
And they don't say
they
master
stop
anymore?
saying master bedroom. They say primary. It's not our principal bedroom. The principal bedroom.
bedroom.
Because master is from the time of slavery. No, it's not. People are masters of things other than other people. You can be. You have a master's degree. You can be the
man.
master and an apprentice. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
in
that's
God's name
going
is
away.
wrong
That
with-
nomenclature is going away, too.
Oh my gosh! But anyway, I think those people are just trolling us, just to see if we go along with it.
Yeah, there's no way they'll do this, right? Oh,
No,
yeah.
my God, they did it.
We can't wait to do the next dumb thing that you want us to do.
I was going to start as a joke that something was racist that I know, of course, isn't, and that it was just trying to be funny. And I was about to send it out, and it was one of my friends who goes, "Dude, don't tweet that." He
You'll
goes,
start
'cause
it.
The problem is some idiot will see that and think it's real, and then if you're lucky, it'll blow up. But then it'll be real, and people will actually believe that stupidity. And I was like, "Oh gosh, you know what? That's what happens. That is what happens."
It gets out. It's like gain of function.
Yeah.
Besides, mummy, I think, is gendered. Why couldn't it be Duddy?
That's going to be our
That is
rim
the
shot
only
for the
appropriate
rest of the
reaction.
podcast.
Carson, before you walked in, we were all talking about how I was like, man, I don't like, even if I had a crack rock, I don't know what to do with it. Like, what do you? What do you? I don't even know. I don't even know what. I don't know what you do. Do you kind of break it up into smaller pieces?
I don't know.
Do you eat it?
No. You
You don't
smoke it.
swallow
You
it.
smoke it.
So how do you smoke something solid?
You got to
like
have a
that?
crack pipe. You never heard of a crack pipe?
I have, of course. But
you don't know how
there's
it
a way.
works.
I don't know how it works. And then but Patrick was like, dude, they would never sell
No one
you.
would. Oh my God! Do you went
I
into
tried-
the hood to try to get a crack rock?
First
of all, look
you have
at
a
him.
cop
But
car.
second of all, look at his car. It's an old surplus cop car. No one's coming near you.
I have to explain to her. No. I bought it from. No, it's a surplus.
No.
Look,
Man,
you can
no
see where the
one will-
numbers
you
used
put the
to
window
be.
down, no one will even talk to you.
When
promise.
I had my black Range Rover, it was all blacked out. It had limo tint on it. It was blacked, a black color. The car was, and I would drive. Sometimes to get to the studio, I would kind of go this like back way, and it was like through
At the old
projects and
studio,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
And I would just kind of go. People would all park in the street, you know. So you have like one lane really, and someone comes, you have to kind of move over, whatever. And I was driving through, and these people would like come out and they'd kind of wave at me, and I was like, and they can't see through those. I know you can't.
Yeah.
It's completely the tent.
So somebody had the exact truck as you.
Oh, it was somebody. Yeah, it was.
Because they weren't waving at you like just like nonchalantly. They like thought they knew you.
No, it was like El Chapo came rolling down the road, and they're like, "Hey, Chapo!"
Patrick just said nonchalantly. Is there a thing? What does chalantly mean?
I don't know.
Nonchalant?
I just know what nonchalant means.
Is there? Yeah, so there's a chalant.
I don't know. I've
You
never.
have nonchalant. Oh, that's a good question.
No,
Chalant.
I was going to Google that.
Chalant.
Yes. Chalant, meaning and origin. I'm going to the dictionary here. It is,
Is that a word?
it just says there's nothing to it. Oh, here it is. Notional opposite to nonchalant.
Well, I mean, that's so weird. That's a weird word where all we have is the,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we
all
just
we
have
have
the
is
one
the anti-word or whatever.
Yeah.
The
And then you go to
antonym.
nonchalant, and it
Antonym.
just says without warmth or enthusiasm, showing cool lack of concern, casually indifferent. But then you go to chalant,
And it's
and
nothing.
it just says it's
Opposite
the
of
opposite of
nonchalant.
that.
I feel like someone made that up. That nonchalant was just a word on its own that happened to have NON in front of it.
Yeah, oh, you're right.
And then someone's like, oh, well, then there must be a chalant.
That's right. Maybe it's not
There may not be.
nonchalant. Maybe it's just a
Yeah.
word on its own.
Yeah.
I would make a car, and it's the new Chrysler Chalant. Like that's
Oh, that's a
kinda
good
cool.
one, yeah.
And then
Oh,
people would
that's
be like,
actually
"Ooh, that
not
must
a
be
bad
cool
name for a
because
car.
that's the nonchalant and that's the chalant."
I want the chalant.
I need a chalant.
I'll tell you what.
I gotta get a chalant to go buy my crack.
I'll tell you what's the drug I like is those Unisom melts. You ever tried those?
This is why they won't sell him crack. Because Dee's idea of a drug is Unisom melts.
Yeah,
I don't even know what is Unisom.
It's the stuff that makes you sleep.
Sleepy.
It's like
Yeah.
a sleep aid.
And these are like their little tabs.
I
little
have that.
melt
It's called
tabs.
beer.
And you put one in and you just kind of let it sit
Benadryl?
in your mouth.
Yeah.
And it kind of it dissolves. real
Unisom
quick.
is Benadryl. I'm pretty sure it's the same,
Oh, are
same
they the
exact
same?
thing.
I used to be a NyQuil guy. NyQuil is oh boy, I tell
That's
you
the
what,
secret 13th step.
man, that is a
That's what Dennis Leary called it. He said
really?
everybody in AA, they're not going to tell you about it until you know that NyQuil was the 13th step.
Wow.
What do you mean by that?
Because it had, you could sleep, it would turn off your brain.
Uh-huh.
But it has alcohol in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if it does anymore, but that was the thing that people would take it because it wasn't
I
technically
don't know.
booze.
I remember. I haven't taken NyQuil since that time. Y'all all thought I was dead.
Oh man, I sent people to your house.
Oh yeah, I had people show up at my house and thought I was dead because I hadn't answered. I had like 68 missed phone calls and 29 text messages.
I wish I was a firefighter back then. I'd have just busted your door
Oh
down.
gosh, no! Well, y'all were on vacation, and I had like a cold, and so the best stuff shows are usually pre-produced and put together. So I told,
It's fine.
I was like gonna come in at like 10, but I didn't, and then there was some kind of minor technical
Issue,
problem,
yeah.
and so it was just. Carson said, well, Patrick didn't answer his phone. Or were you even here back then? Oh, yeah. Patrick didn't answer his phone. And he's like, he didn't. And you know what? He didn't answer my text either. And so he tried calling me. And then when I didn't call, he starts calling like friends of mine that he knows. He's like, hey, have you heard from Patrick? And I don't know, man.
Katie lost her mind
she
on
was
the phone
so
with me.
worried. She
And
was
then
so
she gets me
panicked.
all panicked. She's like, oh, but, what if he's dead? I'm like, well, you can go find the body.
Yeah.
I'm
She
not
actually
going.
did. It was Katie
It
that came to
was
my
Katie.
house.
Did you open the door?
Oh, yeah.
Did
well,
you get-
No, I woke up.
She banged on your window.
Yeah, and I was like,
God, think about what she saw peeking in the window.
no.
That's a lot of skin.
This is in my old house, and I was
She'd be like,
obviously
"What is that?"
when I was single. No, you couldn't see in my windows, man.
It's a joke, Patrick.
But I'm just saying.
I got me too.
Single guy, had everything blacked out. I actually had foil on my windows. In my
Wow,
bedroom.
that's
I recall
was that guy,
Thought
yeah.
that was weird.
Oh, because you know what? Because I like it totally black.
Dark, yeah.
Anyway, I remember I didn't hear the banging, but it woke me up. But it's one of those things where you, in that like haze, you're like, was somebody banging on my window?
yeah. Did I dream?
And then
that?
she went around to the back and banged on the back door for whatever reason. And so I heard the knocking, and I'm like, what in God's name is going on? So I get up, I put my robe on.
Chalantly.
Put my robe on, and I go and I look out the front door, and I don't see anyone. And then I see Katie coming back from the back of the house, and she goes, oh, thank God. And I'm like, what? She goes, oh, we were worried something was wrong with you. And then I figure out that y'all have been trying to call me for 2 hours, and I slept through it because I was like, no.
And so she drove. I mean, your house from her where she was that's a haul.
Back in the day, I lived out in the country.
I called her, and it was just like, I was like, hey, here's what's going on. And I was like, she's like, what do you think? I go, well, HA.
HA?
And she was like, yeah.
Heart attack.
Oh, gosh.
And she's like, oh, okay. All right. And then she sprang into action.
So ridiculous.
It's good to know you have friends like that.
I do. I appreciate that you all care about me. Also, it concerns me that your first thought when I didn't answer my phone for 90 minutes was that I might be dead. Like, that's just the first place you jump to.
Just stop.
I'm not saying that's on y'all. That's on me. Like, that's okay, what does that say about my,
Yeah, it just means that we all need to get healthier. We all need to worry about our fitness because you know what? I mean, that's where people's minds are going to go.
You know that weird thing of what you're talking about. That did someone just knock on my fuzzy thing? So I was riding the Unisom ride.
Yeah.
And
I was on the NyQuil pony.
That's gonna be my first tattoo. And at about 2:00, I think, in the morning, I'm dreaming, and I hear something like going, and I'm like, what was that? That sounded like I was like, that sounded like that mummy. And I open my eyes, and I hear it real fast. And my eyes are awake. I'm awake. I am conscious. And I'm looking. I have my CPAP on, and I'm looking kind of down my nose at the hose, and it had just gone. And it wasn't that, but it was like hey. It was like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was your CPAP?
I don't know. I was like totally out of my head. So that was weird because I swear I heard that when I was awake. So didn't think much about it. And then I don't know, maybe 5 days later or so, I'm not on the pony.
Right.
I'm clean. And it's
just sleeping.
Middle of the night again.
5 days sober.
I hear it again. And I'm awake this time, and I realize, it's my CPAP makes it's some kind of weird thing. It'll go, rah, 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 rah.
Well, remember when
it's
Patrick
some kind of weird
CPAP,
angle or something.
Do we still have the CPAP country
please
stuff?
don't play that.
But it's it made some kind of weird noise. Like, okay, good. Well, I mean, it's not good that it makes noise, but man, I was a little concerned.
Our friend Ellen, who works at one of the record labels, she's always here with Jason Aldean and different artists. And she was here, and I can't remember whose manager it was, but it was somebody else that I don't know. Because there's always sometimes there's another person. And so I'm talking to her and I'm telling a story. She goes, oh, do you wake up in the middle of the night if the baby cries? And I go, well, I have a sound machine going and I'm wearing a CPAP machine. And when I said that, the other girl, I saw her, she was typing on her laptop and I saw her go, kind of nod her head and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, of course. Because, it's not a shocking thing when I say I have a CPAP machine.
How do you know she wasn't nodding to whomever she was talking
I called her on
to?
it. I'm like, I saw that. Yeah, so you're not at all surprised that the fat man has a CPAP machine. And she laughed.
Man, I'll tell you, there's the CPAP thing it's a lot more people are using than you, and it's not always a weight thing.
There's a
or
stigma,
an age
though.
thing.
There's
a stigma for sure, but it's changing. There's she was I don't know, 30-year-old a girl, and she was like, yeah, I use a CPAP machine, and it's changed my whole sleeping. Completely changed my life. I actually have energy in the mornings now. I can, and she's like, there is, you're right. There's a stigma about it, and she's like, but it's changing because she goes, I know a bunch of my friends that have them, and they're in their 30s,
and they don't tell anybody. It's a big secret.
Yeah, but they all have it.
Are they overweight or are they just
nope.
having difficulty sleeping?
Yep, just had
I know a girl, she's in her 30s now, but she told me that when she was in her 20s, she went on a date with a guy, and he mentioned that he had a CPAP machine, and she never went out with him again because she thought he
I get that.
And I'm like, oh.
I get it.
Oh, that made me sad. But
I mean,
also,
it's
I'm old and married, and I don't care.
It's the opposite of sexy. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but
I'm not going to put it on while we're still awake, if you know what I mean.
But once
that's weird.
What? What'd you say?
I said, I'm not going to put it on while we're still awake. You know.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I can see how that, like, my wife loves that I have.
I just have the visual of
me wearing a
adult time
CPAP
with
machine.
a CPAP
Yeah, it's
on.
not sexy. But, you know,
Someone's really into Star Wars.
I used to snore, and now I don't.
Back to tank.
So
Can you sleep on your back now?
I can't, but I don't. Like, my back, I have problems with my back.
I could never sleep on my back before because I would be there and be like, it's fine. Oh, I can do it.
What?
And that, so
Does it do something weird when you do that?
No, that's me without it. That's
Without it, you
gotcha.
can't breathe. You
Yeah,
wake up and you go,
it's like it collapses. It's like it's this weird thing, and now
it's
there's
just
so much air going through that it just keeps everything open.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's just positive pressure, right? Just
Yeah.
kind of blowing its
continuous
way.
pressure, something.
Oh, that's what it
That's
stands
what
for.
CPAP. But yeah, it's just keeping that pathway open just enough that you can get all the air you need.
Yeah. And man, I tell you, I don't even
so great.
realize. You ever take yours off? Like, well, I mean, you take it off, but like, you don't. You think sometimes I forget I have it on. And you kind of then you'll adjust it or something, and you have the pillow things or what the nasal pillows. Yeah, I do too. And you kind of pull it, and it's like,
Yeah, the amount of air.
I'm like, oh my god,
We're not
see you,
being.
Carson.
this is
Come on.
so embarrassing. It
be
sounds so. It's a Hoover. It's so
it's
bad.
really loud if you move it.
Oh man! And then you're like, oh, I can't. This I had. Oh, this is nice. Oh,
Can
yeah.
you reverse it and like use it as a vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, you
Yes.
can. Yeah, you can.
Really?
No.
You just turn the plug upside down. Yeah, that's embarrassing. But I don't care, man.
Dude,
That's
that's
not
kind of
the-
how I feel
Luke
with
Bryan has
the
one.
hearing
Yeah,
thing
Luke's-
I went and did this week.
Yeah.
I've been having issues with my headphones. I just don't like the way they sound. Something's not right. I'm not hearing things. So I went to an audiologist, and I don't even know if I told you this, Carson. Went to an audiologist.
knew you were going, but-
Sure enough, they find out that I have everything's in the. You have like a normal range. My low end, my high end, perfect. Everything's there. But where people's main conversation is, I have like 20 dB loss, which it's pretty drastic. It would be like I would only hear about like this. So, I have to like think harder. Like when I'm in a room with people, a big crowd, it's harder to hear. So I really have to look at the person I'm trying to listen to.
I should go to that place though, because I wonder if we all have a similar thing. If it comes from headphones.
Well, no, this isn't from headphones. That's what she said. She said what you have is not headphones. This is a hereditary thing that has been passed down.
I know
And
she
I'm
said
like,
that.
oh.
I'm just saying I feel like I have the same issues, that I can hear high and low fine, but when I get in that mid range, especially in a crowd, oh God, I can't hear people.
Okay,
in a
so
crowd
that
at
would be
all.
interesting because see, like she was talking about, it's a telltale sign that it's not normal hearing loss. But I wonder if all four of us have the same hearing pattern
Because we've been all listening to the same thing for
forever, and we all have the same headphone type. We've all worn headphones our entire radio careers. So there's this noise in your ears. And what people don't understand is when we're talking, our headphones are loud because you don't want to hear your head voice. You don't want to, that weird noise that you get. So you have to turn it up so you hear what's coming out of the speakers. So, yeah.
I actually had to excuse myself from a conversation last night because there was music going. And when I tell you, it wasn't super loud, but it was just at the right volume that the guy literally standing next to me is speaking to me.
In the same frequency?
Couldn't catch
hear
him.
him.
Yeah.
And I asked him at one point to repeat himself, and then I did that smile and nod and LOL, and
do that all
finally,
the time.
yeah. And I just said, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I've got to run back to work.
well,
And
Yeah,
that was
you read body language. And
that
you're
was
like,
it. Yeah, but I felt so bad that I literally couldn't grasp what he was saying by no fault of his.
I keep hearing people talking about how people have discovered because of the pandemic that they have more hearing loss than they realize because they didn't realize how much they were reading lips until people were wearing masks. And I said, there's truth to that, but it's not just reading lips. These are people who don't understand that sound is in frequencies, and it's not just about volume. It's about what frequency the tone or the pitch is.
Yeah,
And
she
so that
said
there's a lot of frequencies that when I'm talking like this, like you don't even realize that I'm
cuts
taking
out a whole bunch.
a lot of the high and low end, and I'm
And
only
she
in
said,
the
I
middle.
bet you had a hard time with
Oh, of
masks.
course.
I was like, yeah, I
I
did.
can't understand
I would ask
anybody.
people, I'm like, can you please speak up? you got a mask on, and it wasn't the mask, actually. It was just the frequency loss. So, I mean, there's a lot going to it. But it goes back to that stigma of the CPAP. Like, she was like, yeah, do you want hearing aids? I'm like, no, I'm fine, because I can get along fine, and I'm good to go.
And I don't know that hearing aids would help you with headphones
Well, it would
on,
fix it would fix the frequencies that I'm missing.
But I'm
It would
saying, are
boost
hearing
those.
aids made for you to have them in and then put something this close?
I don't know. She offered me to test drive some. So I'm like, I don't know. It's just, it's
that would be
different.
cool.
Because like when
Can we
your
do a bring your CPAP and hearing aids to work day?
No, but it was weird
Do
because
you have a cane? Like,
no,
when
what
you
I
mess
was
up
gonna
your
say
knee?
is, like,
like,
with-
you have a
I
cane?
actually
with
do have a cane.
glasses, there's no stigma.
Can use it.
I
No,
mean,
yeah, tell that to a 10-year-old kid who gets glasses for the first time. There's
but a
still
lot
stigma.
of 10-year-old kids have glasses. You don't have a whole lot of 10-year-old kids who have like a hearing
And I'm
aid.
not saying there should be, of course.
Or a
I'm just-
CPAP.
It's still a thing. My wife won't get glasses. She needs glasses so bad. She doesn't want to get glasses because she's, it's like that thing of like admitting that
You've
getting
turned
old.
40.
Mm-hmm. Like, I told y'all the other day, my buddy Don, sorry, Don, I'm calling you out. Don wears readers. Like, he can't see things up close. So he'll be just, here, check that out. And he'll go, oh, hold on a minute. I mean, pull his glasses out of his pocket and like an old man. And I don't know what it is about readers because they don't look the same as these. But it's got that thing where you
On the
turn
end of
into
his
your
nose?
grandfather. You go, oh, yeah, that's good. And you just
Thank
take
you,
him
Ben
back off,
Franklin.
turn him back over, put him in.
Speaking of older things, Jay Leno, you see he got in a motorcycle accident?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, he just burned
Right after
himself.
he just got burned.
Yeah, man. Take it easy,
crazy.
Jay.
We're going to lose him, aren't we?
No.
No.
It's
I
fine.
love Jay.
Carson, did you see that Amy and what's-his-face got fired from Good Morning America?
Oh, they fired him finally?
Is it fired?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw something about
Broke
them
out.
trying to hammer out a deal. Yes, TJ and Amy.
Those are the ones that were sleeping together?
Yes, yes.
Someone put on Twitter, goes, ABC shouldn't fire Amy and TJ Holmes. People really don't care as much as you think. Trust me.
Yeah.
That boy, that's
It's like,
true.
I don't even know who they are.
Does it matter to any of us if
one
they're
cares.
sleeping together?
No,
No
but I
one
had this
cares.
conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and I said, here's the problem. That it's not about even the viewer perception at this point. It's that other than possibly the director of news for ABC, they are the most powerful people in that department. And if they in any way, they were both messing around on spouses. So I'm assuming there was some secrets, there were some hiding things.
Yeah.
And if you involved any sort of underling, if you involved a lesser staffer, TJ also had affairs with 2 other chicks that were on the staff.
Well,
like,
we know-
this is bad, dude.
This is all rumor, and I'm going to be very careful. So I'm telling this specifically to the two of you. Don't add details to my story to make it worse. But
Okay.
we know a rumor about a guy that got fired because of something similar, and was using his secretary to lie to his wife. And at that point, like, does your job want to fire you because you're having an affair? Nah, that's maybe, but that's a weird, like, line crossing personal business thing. But man, when you start using other people who work in that company to run interference for you, nope.
And that's what I suspect
Nope.
is really the problem. That if you
I'm sure
have
there's something like that.
if you've got a PA on that show who says, Amy told me, oh, I need you to be my cover in case Andrew, that was her husband, if he calls or something. Like, the minute you involve anybody else, and I'm not saying that they did, but there is a very good chance that could have, or if somebody saw something.
Oh, we have
And
another
they're like,
friend
"Ugh."
who had a problem at an old job because one of his coworkers said, "Hey, if my husband asked, I was at lunch with you yesterday," and I'm like, "Oh, no, I ain't lying for you. I ain't being your cover story." I ain't gonna lie, I would cover story for y'all.
You know what?
It's a guy thing.
Have you guys seen the? I'm sorry.
Not that y'all need me.
I'm
to.
going.
Eh.
Have you seen these motor lodges that they are redoing and upkeeping?
Trying-
Like,
yeah.
yeah. They're like, it still looks like the old motor lodge, but and inside it is, but it's all new.
But it's a boutique hotel.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
one in Henderson, Kentucky that I have seen, and it's like, yeah, but it still doesn't look like you want to stay here.
There's one
I-
in town. There's one in Nashville.
I want to go and do, and I've told you guys this for the longest time. I've always wanted to just go to Chicago, rent a car. Rent a car and get on Route 66 and drive take an entire week or whatever and drive the entire Route 66, as much of it as possible, because I know there's parts that are gone. But I want to do like Cars, the road trip, Lightning McQueen, and I want to go and stop at all those little motor lodges. I want to go and do all that kind of stuff. Man. I think that, dude, you get a cool car and you take a week with a bud, and man, I just think that's magical.
There's a video that YouTube channel I watch. The guy does that. Him and his son did, and they start in California and go out.
They did the opposite way.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I think on Netflix there's a show where they it's like motel something, where they're like renovating the whole motel, which is a huge undertaking. Think about how much it takes to renovate an entire house. Yeah. Now let's do this with this thing that's got 60 rooms.
But most of the rooms, I would think, are the same, right? So they're just duplicating.
But they're redoing all of them.
I know, but
it's still a lot.
It's a lot of work.
It's not a whole lot to decorate, though, because it's the same stuff. You buy 60 of this bed, 60 of that desk, whatever. So I would think that would be easier. Yeah, but I'm talking about
like redoing the carpets and the walls and the bathrooms and all that. And so it's a lot of money and a lot of work. But hey,
I swear
in the end, you own a motel. So
the motel from Schitt's Creek, I think, was up for sale in the recent past in the last few years.
Where is that, in Canada?
Canada. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, someone needs to buy this because we'd all go. We're going to take Insta pictures.
Would you actually go?
I might, but the problem is it's great to say, like, I'd so go, except you've got to get someone like Patrick said to put up that money to then invest it and say, also the amount of time that it takes for a show that people still love, but it was hot 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And now you're expecting that tourism out of it. It's going to die.
You can't make it nice because then it won't look like the Schitt's Creek motel.
Right. So
I can't make it too nice.
No, you're like, I just want to take some pictures and leave. And that's the other thing. People just take pictures in front of it.
It's like with the Twilight House and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, all the people that would go.
People spend so much money on those things. The Christmas Story house.
Goonies house.
But in the end, there's not that much money in it. Like,
But like if you're a super fan of a show and you get the opportunity to do it and you decide to make a little side like bed and breakfast out of it or something like that, that's a pretty good life. Because all the people that come by are people that share the same fandom as you. Like I would pay anything in the world. Disney, hear me out. I would pay anything in the world to go to Tunisia and stay at Uncle Ben and Aunt Beru's house. The underground thing where Luke Skywalker was yes, it's really there. Those are like indigenous homes that the people that live in the deserts had. So they just went and they retrofitted it and threw up a couple little spacey looking pieces. And yeah, that's legit.
Did you see the whole controversy about the guy who bought the Goonies house in the Pacific Northwest? This has just happened in the last couple of days. So he bought the house and his whole thing was, he wants to keep it. Fans show up. They want pictures, whatever. Well, a neighbor, she has this massive sign that says, Goonies not welcome, because she's sick of the tourism. So then another neighbor put up this massive sign with an arrow that said, ignore Karen.
Oh! Excellent.
Yeah, it's like...
Yes.
We're on the air there. The story. It's a story.
I want to go. I want to go and... I want to go to the Goonies house.
Yeah,
take some
don't go
pictures.
to the Breaking Bad house in Albuquerque. They have a fence up now.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Because people kept throwing pizzas on the roof.
I'll say one that I would like to go to.
Yeah,
I would
we
like
did.
to go to the Field of Dreams house.
Yes.
See the whole thing. I mean, that's.
I want to play. I just want to go. I don't even want to play a full game. I just want to go up there, field a couple nice little grounders, make a couple throws. Yeah, play a little game of catch.
Man,
maybe take
I saw
a couple
tweet
cuts
from some Garrett-aged, 20-something-year-old kid.
Slackjaw.
Yeah. Watched Field of Dreams for the first time. Really don't understand why everybody loves this movie. I'm like, well, that's what's wrong with your whole generation. I don't even, you're like, what? Who doesn't love Field of Dreams when they get to the end?
Was he on your lawn? Tell him to get off it.
Get out of here, kid.
You had to say that louder for Bubba.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. How's you watching this weekend? Oh, we got football this weekend.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do on Sunday.
Right, Sunday.
You guys made your bets yet?
No.
Yes, I did.
They're coming.
I'm just betting on Joe. That's it. I'm not even betting on the outcome of the game. I'm like literally betting on.
I know. We did that.
How many
did
yards
that last
I think
weekend.
Burrow's going to. Yeah, in the blinding snowstorm.
Man, we
D
almost
and
got
I
it,
bet
too.
on how many yards Joe Burrow was going to throw, and he had 200 yards at halftime.
Oh, and there's a blizzard.
And then in the second half, they're like, Buffalo's not doing anything. We're just going to run a little bit.
Come on. We were like, I don't know, 20, 30 yards out shy of it.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh,
not
and
very
my dude
much.
is out there. They're wearing white on white, all white uniforms in a blizzard, and he's freaking
Still.
throwing.
Yep.
Hitting it,
Oh
man.
man,
Killing it.
I'm telling you, I'm all about it.
So you think it'll be kind of the same? Do those change?
Oh yeah, the numbers change. I can tell you what they are.
So Burrow, Joe would need. Last week he needed
2 touchdowns.
two
and
touchdowns he threw,
284.
and 284 total yards passed.
So that's
We got the
just
2
kinda
touchdowns
fun.
in the first half.
Yeah, because you know what? It could be a shootout, and they could lose, and you could still win your bet.
Right.
And I mean,
But-
don't you think Kansas City and Cincinnati's going to be a shootout?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I do.
2 of the best quarterbacks.
So okay, so I'm going to the NFL.
Is-
Mahomes
Cincinnati.
okay?
That's what I
Mahomes
was
is
going to
playing.
say. Is,
Mahomes says he's fine.
Okay.
yeah, he
So
says
take
he's
his word
fine.
for it.
He said, of course, I would say I'm
I
fine
just haven't
too.
been keeping up
Joe
with
Burrow
him.
needs over 281 yards, 280 and a half, and 2 touchdowns.
Same thing basically.
So, and if you bet both of those together, yeah, it's a good little,
But what if you put 20 on that? What would the payout be?
So $20 on that bet would pay 68. So it's
Okay.
it's almost.
And what's the game?
Oh no, I'm
numbers?
sorry, I did
1.5.
that wrong. I did that wrong. I didn't.
So that's
I'm
no
not-
one- no one
Kansas
really
City
cares.
1.5.
What's that?
Oh, it's pretty
Yeah.
much a push.
Yeah, it's basically they're like anybody
Oh yeah,
can win
it's
this.
going back and forth too. So they see it as a total. Well, they've beaten them 3 times in a row. Like at home, you think but they've beaten them in Kansas City 3 times in a row. So
I know, but then you go the
hard to
odds
beat
of
them
that.
4. Yeah,
And you
I
also
get it.
look at Mahomes, his legend. I mean, a team rallies around something like that. When you have a quarterback who's going to do what he did and, carry the team even whenever he's limping, I mean, that's a motivator. So, yeah, it's going to be crazy. I mean, I'm still Team Joe. I love Burrow. I do. But I also love Mahomes. I don't know.
I
I
do
don't know
too.
if I
root
really.
for Mahomes. I root for Josh Allen. But if I got to pick one right now, I'm going. Let's go, Joe. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't have really a dog in the fight in the AFC, so I kind of like all of those dudes.
Is the other game that close too?
I think so. It's like 3 points.
2.5 now.
Yeah,
for
so-
Philly.
And that's the one where people are saying, don't you think Philly's going to beat the living crap out of them? But I don't know. The 49ers have won what, like 11 in a row? So how do
NFL is so different. When you bet on college football, man, it's kind of Wild West.
yeah.
You don't. I mean, literally anything can happen.
Anybody think TCU was going to beat Michigan for real, though?
For
real?
reals?
That bad?
For real?
And score
For
that many
bad?
points?
That bad?
No, nobody thought that.
Nope.
So then you get to the next game and you think, well, TCU will keep it. No,
Nope.
Georgia beat
The
them like they stole
opposite.
something from church.
Just
They
the
beat them.
opposite.
Oh my God!
Ugh, I know.
Bad.
That was I was not a fan of this year's national championship.
No, it was.
It
rough.
was-
But everything, I will say this, you
I
can
mean,
say
I
that about the
know.
national championship
I
game
know.
itself. Everything leading up to that was
Great.
Yeah.
phenomenal. Not
Phenomenal.
even great. Probably one of the best
Some of the best.
or postseasons
Yep.
ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So
when y'all
Carson
get your
still-
12 teams in 2 years, we're gonna have a lot of boring games.
No,
Carson,
no,
you
it's gonna
still
be
in here?
fun.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sending selfies.
We
It's
got to
fine.
get we got to get Carson into
No,
betting.
no, you
betting.
don't. I have an addictive personality, and there is no
Oh.
way.
What are
Yeah.
you addicted? What's your biggest addiction?
Concerts.
Concerts.
T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
I
Concert
mean,
T-shirts.
television. I used to have a drinking problem.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we never
Really?
talked
Did
about
you?
that.
Did?
Yes, oh my gosh, they had an intervention for me.
What?
Really?
Wait.
You tell us that
Wait.
story right now.
Are you kidding?
No.
All
Oh my
right.
gosh.
I didn't know this
set
side
the
of
stage.
Carson.
All right.
Yeah.
What town do you live? Where you living when this happened?
Nashville.
Oh, so in Nashville.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I-
you walk into a room and there a banner.
No,
Tell
no,
me
it
there's a
This
banner.
was back in the day, Nashville?
Yeah, this was
yeah.
like 20. I had just gotten, the reason I know is because I just gotten out of a trip from Louisville. And I had gotten so drunk in Louisville, I got lost in the hotel. And I meant to call.
I love it already.
I got so drunk that I'm going through my phone and I meant to call my friend Micah, which is spelled M-I-C, and I accidentally hit mom. And so I called my mother wasted, and
That's always fun.
yep, so that was good.
Did she?
While
she
you tell
knew?
this story, if you're listening on a podcast app, slow the volume or slow the
Slow
playback
the
down.
volume down on the podcast.
Yeah.
Carson will
Just a
sound
little
drunk
bit.
while she's telling you.
So about a week later, I get this weird text from my mother that says, "Hey, are you available for a phone call at, I don't know, some day and some time?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And I end up taking the call, and there's like 6 people on the phone that she'd gotten. And
So it was an intervention
Your
over the
mom?
phone.
well, yeah, because
You're-
my mom didn't live. Like,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
But
live
your
close.
mom set up the intervention? That's
Just from that
wow.
phone call?
Well,
No,
there
there
were
were
other
other
things.
things. Of course,
like,
there were other things.
Yeah, there were other things. And she,
my car didn't have doors.
Yeah, there
Oh
was.
my
I mean,
gosh.
part of the reason I'm so
We know that guy.
I don't sleep well during the week, and it's because I'm always afraid of sleeping through my alarm because it's just me, and we're here early,
Right.
But it's because one night I went out with radio station I was working on, and I got blackout drunk. Friend of mine took me home. I woke up that morning at like 6:30. I'm supposed to be in at 5. I have 6 missed calls, and one of them was from ADT because apparently when I went to my house, I couldn't figure out my alarm code.
Oh my gosh.
So it was stories like that, and it's and I don't mean to make light of it. I know people. It's just look, it runs
Well, yeah,
in my
and Carson
family.
doesn't really.
and,
I mean, I've you know.
yeah, and so I'm not. I don't have to be an all or nothing. That I can't. Like I'm going to New Orleans in a couple of months, and I'm just going for a night to literally go party with my friends. But it's something that I don't do a whole lot. But yeah, like
We
drinking
go
is
out
bad.
to stuff all the time where there are free drinks, and Carson never has a drink. So
No,
on you,
because I
she
can
figured out
because I
that-
can get real stupid real quick. And boy, I am a lot of fun, but I also there are so many mornings where I had to account for what I did the night before. Or the worst is like you guys joke how I'm a man eater and I don't give any guy any time the time of day, or I'm always looking for something wrong with him. Well, Carson with a few drinks is the exact opposite.
Oh yeah.
She is so friendly, and oh my gosh, you're the most interesting person I've ever met. And of course we should exchange numbers and let's talk and let's go out. And like the next morning I will wake up to text messages from guys that are like, "I had the best time with you. I would love to take you out this weekend." I'm like, I don't even know who this dude is. No idea. So yeah, and
You have to scroll through your photos and go,
yeah.
oh, him.
And I don't have any of those weird like regret stories that I woke up in a weird place. It's just I literally don't know who these people are. And I've
Crazy.
yeah.
So on this phone call, what happened?
It was just, my mom's like, I've got this person and that person and blah, blah, blah. And, I've been concerned for a while because alcoholism, you've got it on both sides of your family between your grandmother and your father. And which again, my dad was like kind of a partier when he was younger. So I don't know how much of an alcoholic he actually was, but
Just a
she
partier.
was very straight laced. So that was all to her. But then also her father, her uncle literally died face down in a gutter.
Oh, wow.
Like suffocated from
Yeah.
being passed out. So she's very concerned about that.
Sure.
So-
Were these people other people? Were they just friends of the family or
Yeah,
like
it
professional?
was no, it was nobody professional, but she had wrangled up a couple of my friends who problem is like they liked Good Time Carson too, but they were saying, okay, we get it. She's, maybe it's not for the best. So there was, we were just concerned because I was in a hotel in Louisville. I'm 3 hours from home and I'm wandering around in the bottom. I don't want to say a basement. It's not like I'm in the laundry room, but I'm in the bottom floor of a hotel. And the guy that I'd gone up with, he was just a friend, but he was doing something at a festival. And he was like, yeah, come up, hang out with me. We'll go to these shows. And I'm literally the floor below him and I can't find him. And when I say it's not like I'm going to his room or something, I couldn't find him in the bar because I was on the wrong floor. And yeah, it was just that was her tipping point. Yeah. And then I guess that became my tipping point.
I would love to have a tape recording of you and your mom's conversation from that night.
Man, I bet that was amazing.
Hey, Mom.
Like you.
I love you.
I also
Micah?
Yeah. I'm like, hey. Nope. But yeah, but also there were friends of mine who said, we do get concerned because you are I'm very like it sounds weird. I want to say affectionate, but I'm very huggy. I'm very loving. Again, the absolute antithesis of me sober is that I'm very like, hi, how are you? So I I will not just start conversations, but also hug people. And they're like, yeah, sometimes it's not that I was doing it to people who didn't want it. They go, problem is it was people that we didn't want around.
Yeah.
You
would do that.
Yeah. So that was what my friend said.
Were you sober the day the night that Garth kissed you on the mouth?
Which time, Bubba?
Oh,
Well, well.
And on that note.
And good night. Oh my! Remember when we?
Hey, that's how you go out,
that's a
man.
good way to get out. Just real quick, because it makes sense for the time. Remember when we got Carson a yournovel.com with her and Garth?
Gosh, yes. Where is that? I have that.
I
Do
don't
you
know.
have-
Don't care.
Oh no, it's in.
Oh, that was
Stop it.
awesome! It was the wild, spicy version.
I'm gonna find that, and we're gonna read it on the air next week. We'll read it next.
Hey, by the way, if you go and get a
yes.
custom yournovel.com book done with you and your favorite person in the whole
great
wide
Valentine's
world,
gift.
it is a great Valentine's gift. Make sure you use code Bubba, and you'll save 10% off yournovel.com. Well, freebie.
Can I just say one thing? Because she's coming in a few weeks, and that made me think of the joke. Kathleen Madigan's going to be on the show in a few weeks. She's my all-time favorite comedian.
She's awesome.
She's talking about being on one of those giant cruise ships, and she went to her room. In the room across from hers, there was like an older couple from Wisconsin, and they were decorating the door with like balloons and stuff. She goes, "Oh, cool! You guys are like celebrating an anniversary?" And the lady goes, "Oh, no, honey, these rooms all look the same, and we get so hammered we can't find our way back. This way, when the elevator opens, we see the balloons. We know it's us." I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
wow.
that is so brilliant!"
That
and
is
also
really smart.
life goals. Like, there you go.
That's some 80 for Brady stuff.
All right. Again, thank you for listening to the podcast, watching. If you're listening on an app, we have the El King interview right after this. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you find the El King interview on our Big D and Bubba
Yeah, it's
channel.
right there next to this one on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Mom,
like.
put Mike on.
What?
Why are you
at
Micah's
house?
What's going on? Does Dad know?
We're gonna go see Cowboy Mouth. I got a hookup.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I kind
of wanted to see that.
Yeah, it's too bad. Oh well.
Okay.
Just,
I'll send you guys videos from New Orleans.
All right. Yeah, do that.
please do. We'll post that.
This was the podcast, but now it's over. But that's
Too
okay
bad,
because this was just getting good.
To
the regular show
How about
on the
we've
radio
never known that?
No.
every day.
Wow.
Ever.
Ever. Didn't know that.
Ever knew.
And then you said it like, well, you know, I had a real problem with
Yeah,
alcohol.
they had to have an intervention.
I'm sorry.
That was the podcast.